Hi, this is Mike Bale with Bangert. In this session, we will learn how to use the Try a Role feature in Sage Intacct to help configure user access and security. So in Sage Intacct, you have the ability to set up roles, and security based on those roles can be assigned to users. And what you can find is sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming. They do provide you with a lot of sample roles already set up. And, it's a little uncertain as to exactly what can you do with each one of those roles. So what they have here is something called Try a Role. And you'll see it under Admin for Company, under Try a Role. And you'll also see it inside your roles list over on the right side. You'll see Try a Role. Now, you do need to be a full business user with admin rights to be able to do this and assign security and subscriptions to the roles. So as long as you're an admin, you can log in and you can use this Try a Role feature. So for example, let's say we have an AR clerk in the system and they're going to be recording some receivable cash receipts, and there's certain things we want them to do. So if I go into this role, AR clerk, and I go over to subscriptions, what you'll notice is what areas of the software have they provided and selected access to? So there's an accounts payable, there's accounts receivable, there's a projects. And in general, you can come into one of these here, for example, accounts receivable, and you can click permissions. And you can look through and see what's been checked off, and you can make changes, and things like that. But ultimately, it'll give you a little bit more visual look if you go ahead and try this role and see how it looks before rolling this out to somebody. So I'm going to go back to the home menu. And what I'm going to do is right from that company Try a Role, I'm going to come down to here and I'm going to click AR Clerk. When you do that, what you'll notice is first of all, it's showing me that I'm not authorized for this page that I'm on. And that's because now over in the top right here, you'll see it'll tell me that I'm signed in right now as the AR clerk on the top right of your screen. At any time, you could switch back to your role, your admin role. But what this does is this gives you an actual visual picture of what the AR clerk would see when they're logged into the system. So if I click on my applications menu, now you'll notice my menu is much smaller. And, I can see the individual areas that this user will be able to get into. One of the nice things is it's useful to go through and make sure something didn't slip between the cracks. So for example, under company, do I want this user to see some of these custom views I've sent up in the system? That may or may not be the case, but when I log into here now, because I'm trying that role, I can go through here and just take a quick peek if there's anything that stands out that we need to tighten up on. Also, is there anything in here or not in here that I do want to make sure this individual user is going to be able to do? So let's say in this scenario, they're going to be going into accounts receivable, and they're going to go in and they're going to be able to receive payments and maybe put some deposits in, some advances and adjustments and things like that. But maybe one of the other things that you also want this role to be able to do is to do some miscellaneous banking entries, let's say over into the cash account. Maybe they want them to be able to record bank fees, charges, maybe some bank transfers, things like that. And you'll notice here, they're not on the menu. There's nothing in here for cash management. That's missing. So what I'll do here is I'll come over to my switch back. And as an admin now, I'm going to go take a look at what that menu would look like over in cash management and see exactly what I want them to see. And let's say in this scenario, it's okay if they see the bank accounts, but we don't want them doing any setup changes here. But I do want them to have access to deposits here, maybe fund transfers or interest and charges as well. So some of this, and they're also going to need to generate an ACH file, let's say. So I need them to see this access. So now I can go and adjust that role. So I'll go into company, roles, and I'll go into the AR clerk. Now, if you're unsure, you can always copy this role over and test it with a different role, but I'm going to go into edit here. Actually, and you could say duplicate if I wanted to test the role. But in this scenario, actually, sorry about that. I'm going to go into the subscriptions. So let's go into AR Clerk, subscriptions. Okay, so once in there now, I want to go take a look at this cash management section. So I'll go to permissions. And like we said before, let's go down here. We want them to be able to see the banking accounts. We don't want them getting into the credit cards, just the banking accounts. And I do want them to record bank interest and charges. So I'm going to give them list, view, add, and edit. And also I'm going to go into and give them access to transferring funds between two accounts. And I want them to be able to generate the ACH payment file. So I'm going to go ahead and give them edit controls as well. Give them the ability to export that ACH file so they can upload it to the bank. Okay. So I'll click save here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and click save. And once that saves, we'll go and try that role again. So now that I saved that role, I'm going to go over to AR Clerk and I'm going to click try a role because I can do it right from within my roles right here. And I'll go into AR Clerk, try a role. And now it shows me again on my top right, I'm under AR Clerk. And if I look at my menu, now I have the cash management menu. And what's really nice too is it's a good visual of how it can simplify the menu too. So this user, when they log in, they're not going to be looking for 100 items on the menu here. They're just going to be looking for the items that they need to do. There's some interest charges, some fund transfers, and there's the ACH. And that's really all we wanted them to be able to do on top of an accounts receivable. I wanted to be able to enter receipts. But I can continue on because, do we want to take some things away in the projects module? Is there certain reports we don't want them to see? And then accounts payable, looks like they have a little bit of views for accounts payable, but you can see some right here, these custom views that maybe have slipped through the cracks. Maybe we don't want them seeing open AP bills. So I can test that to see if they can get in, and you can kind of see here is they can't get in. So even though it's on the menu still, they're still not able to get into that area. So you can test that out. And once that looks good, we're going to switch it back. And then you can go ahead and assign that role to a user under admin users. And I can come in and say, Christopher is going to get that role. So I can hit edit. And I can come into role information. And you can see here, Christopher already has that tied to them. But I can add that role to that user. And that's as simple as it is. That trial role is a real neat, handy tool. Use it. It'll make your life a lot easier when you're setting up your security in Sage Intacct. So if you have any comments, please put them below, like and subscribe, and look forward to talking to you again soon. Thank you.